Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. It is another Saturday and an editorial type video. Casually talking, of course, though I've been doing a lot of those lately. But it's a lot easier. I mean, I don't have to edit it. I'm just not going to cut. I'm just going to go through it. But yeah, so not really Star Warsy today. As you can see from the thumbnail and the title, I am going to be talking once again about Zack Snyder's What Could Have Been. And this is coming from a Vero. Josh Costello, he posted on Vero a picture of the ending scene, or near the ending scene, where Superman dies, and you see Batman and Wonder Woman towering over the body of Superman with Lois right there. So, and in the background, you do see some crosses there. Never noticed before 3 crosses, hashtag Batman v Superman. So, lo and behold, Zack Snyder actually answered that, right? He put it in the comments, and he said, that's a reference to Justice League 2. Damian H. replied, wait, you just dropped a huge bomb on us. And then Zack Snyder replied, until it wasn't. So, that is a huge reference that we've never seen before, talking about possibilities of the next few movies, right? And we all know that there was supposed to be in Justice League 1. Justice League 2 was supposed to come out in 2019. We were supposed to get a huge arc in terms of material. Chris Terrio was working on some crazy things he's never done in his entire life, and it just shows the. And apparently it's supposed to be so epic and grandeur that we would have blown our minds, right? It would have blown our minds. And in a way, I like to think that Zack Snyder's original take on the whole thing, minus out all the solo movies are involved, was that he had already mapped it out in his mind. He mapped out incredible arc legacy. And when he was developing Batman v Superman, he was mapped out everything, and it was going to be such an epic and very connected and grandeur and very, it was going to be short. Like, it wasn't like how Marvel is doing now, where it's like a TV show and it just keeps on going and going and going and going. I think it would have culminated to something large and huge. And I don't know, maybe he'd come back and do Kingdom Come, but I would have think, all that by throwing in Doomsday, throwing in Steppenwolf, throwing in Darkseid, and throwing all these different characters, it would have all meant something. It was he knew where he was going, he knew exactly where it was going to end. And that's the sad part, because, oh man, I would really love to see that. I would have really loved to see that, where it was going to end. Seeing what he did with Nightmare Sequence, and wondering if there was ever going to be a huger part of the story, which I really think it would have been. It would have been fantastic. And there's all these different symbolic pieces in Batman v Superman, symbolic pieces that he was going to transcend to other widely different parts of the comic book stories, gathering different materials from all these different comic books and making his own amalgamation of an incredible epic arc, and starting from Superman and Batman's arc and Wonder Woman, and it was going to be fantastic, and we'll never ever get to see it. I hope one day they'll will release like Chris Terrio's script, to see that thing fully in detail, the thing that he's been working on so hard, the thing that he's been researching on. What came out in Justice League was so simplified version, I believe, just parts of an overarching story that we'll probably, hopefully we'll get to see it, but we'll probably never will. But at least maybe we'll get to read it, in some kind of script form. And judging from what he's saying here, is the references of 3 crosses here is that, well, Superman died. Will other people lose their lives in the upcoming ones? And I think having Batman, an older Batman, and knowing and kind of knowing the rumor about Batman was a little bit kind of on a suicidal in Justice League Part 1, which he kind of was when you watch the film, because he went head into driving that Batmobile and having all the parademons chase him, right? But it wasn't that heavy-handed. It was kind of like lightly touched about his suicidal act, that I think he would have gave up his life. You know, I actually originally thought he was going to die in Justice League Part 1. I did a video a long time before Justice League came out that I think Batman's going to sacrifice himself, and people were like, "You think that can't happen? That won't happen." And I'm like, "Wait, no, you know, you don't understand, because we have to get to some point. Like, if Flash changed back time and created this part of the universe so that Batman was still alive. He changed it, right? He changed it where Batman found everybody, the rest of the crew, and so that sequence might not take place, but maybe Batman dies anyway, as being the sacrifice, and then Flash would have to go back in time anyway. You know, something like that, for that matter. Utilizing different worlds, different timelines, destiny, fulfilling it, and trying to change destiny, but not. You know, I think it would have made a larger part of the story. It would have made a lot, you know, given the feels is going to be there, but it would have been such an integral part of the saga, and having those consequences actually have effect, right? I mean, Superman dying was huge, but Superman dying meant bringing the Justice League group together. Batman dying meaning they have to do something different. And maybe the third cross is Lois dying. And with Lois dying, Lois being the key, you know, it just throws it all into different aspects of the areas. And I think Zack Snyder knew that. Zack Snyder knew exactly where he was going. Just like we knew that he talked to Jeffrey Dean Morgan during Watchmen, that he was thinking about him to make him play Batman. So with that in mind, and having Jeffrey Dean Morgan be Thomas Wayne, he knew Flashpoint was going to be part of the story. And I believe he was even going to do Flashpoint. And it could be, you know, that Rick Famuyiwa was just going to do the Flash, and then they wanted to do Flashpoint, and he didn't want to go there. He says, "I'm not going to do Flashpoint. I want to do the Flash." So that could also be part of the case. But Justice League Part 1, Steppenwolf, Justice League Part 2, Darkseid, maybe Batman does Ultimate Sacrifice, they get some Flashpoint, the Flashpoint Paradox or something, and that's like essentially Justice League Part 3, and it comes full circle, and in a way just completing that saga, you know, and I would have loved that. I think at the end of the day, if I could have a choice to say, you know what, they're gonna you can't kill off Batman because you won't have his Batman solo. Sure, you won't have all these other movies that are gonna take place unless that was a part of the plan. But I would have loved to just see this Zack Snyder's Vision saga end, and then Warner Brothers, you can do whatever the hell you want with it afterward. Okay, you can go and create your you know, the Christopher Reeve Superman again. You can go ahead and create whatever version of the universe you'd rather see, hope, optimism, and stuff like that. You know, you want to be a jokey Marvel, that's fine. But man, I would have really loved to have finished Zack Snyder's Vision, totally seen what exactly he wanted to do, and hopefully we'll get to see the script, you know. But I would have loved to see all that prior to resetting again, you know. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all if they had to reboot the whole thing, because I understand that the best stories, I would believe, are things that have a beginning to an end. Like the Dark Knight trilogy, that had like a beginning to an end to it. It was a nicely set piece that you can revisit, you know. I don't want to Marvel too much, bag on Marvel too much, but Marvel does a great job by making it like a TV show. And when I say TV show, I'm not degrading its quality. Of course, now that I just said that, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. But not degrading. I'm just saying that that's another way of making a create shared universe, right? And I don't think I need that shared universe. I don't think I need that. I mean, it's kind of nice to see maybe Superman get into cameos in here and there, and it's like a larger story, sure. But I got the feeling Zack Snyder's version of this universe, it wasn't that big. It was finite, and that's fine. And I think it's a nice package. Having that finite part of it, it's a nice package of all, and I would have been okay if like Flashpoint did actually change the timeline, change everything, and then he was ended there. It was a happy ending. They ended there, and then everybody can do whatever, Warner Brothers can do whatever they want with the DC extended universe. But I would have loved to see his complete vision, finite vision. And I believe it is, and just like how we appreciate Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. It was finite, it was just, that's it, we got a beginning and we got an end, and then we're done. Oh, anyway, what do you guys think about what Zack Snyder put out? His hashtag until it wasn't. It's obviously he's very not angry, but disappointed that he's never got to be able to see those things out. But hopefully we'll know more from him, and maybe at a point in time where he can just talk freely about what he intended to do, and then we get to see the script, and I can't wait to see that actually happen. But Mario F. Robles has just hinted out today on Twitter that there's going to be some major there's going to be a major announcement, a big announcement at the WonderCon WBDC panel. There's going to be a new trailer. That trailer is obviously, it's got to be Aquaman. I don't see anything different, but there's going to be special guests, and it's going to be a fantastic panel apparently. Drop some major bombs on there, so I can't wait. He does say he's don't think anything to do with Snyder Cut, but we'll see what happens, and that is actually coming up. Oh my God, it's next week. It's next week. So next week, it's gonna be a new day. It's gonna be totally. It's when that WDC DC panel happens. It's gonna change everything. I don't know how much big it's gonna change, but I have a feeling the things that we expect and the things that we know will be altered and changed for the better or for the worse. We'll see. All right, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and it's spring break. All right, guys,